Alright guys, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today I'm loading up the actual in-game Sword and Shield. There's an event going on right now. It's a bit of a tournament where you can bring only evolutions in the Pikachu line. So you can bring one Pichu, one Pikachu, and then either a Raichu or an Alolan Raichu. But sort of a fun little tournament because that's the only Pokemon you can bring. And so the game no longer revolves around team composition, because the composition is basically decided for you, but rather on what exact moves, EV spreads, things like that are you going to run. And this does invalidate certain things. For instance, Static doesn't do anything, Lightning Rod doesn't really do anything, so there's no real reason to run an ability, although Lightning Rod still is preferred, just because it could do something in theory, whereas Static never will do anything. So there's that. I played this a bit on Showdown when it first came out on Showdown and was first announced, so I have a general idea of how the metagame is played, but I haven't played any battles yet online, so let's see how the online people are. I'll come back when we have when I have the game set up. Alright, so this is what it looks like. We've got a Pichu, a Pikachu, and a Raichu. I personally like leading Pikachu because you need to keep Raichu in the back. The leading Pichu, I feel, is a bit too passive. The Focus Sash on Pichu is nice in case they Dynamax early, and then you can waste their Dynamax with the Pichu Focus Sash. But keeping your Raichu healthy in the back usually, I feel like, leads to better results. That being said, the metagame shifts and evolves as people bring counters and counters to counters. But we'll be stuck with this one team today, so hopefully this team works out for us. We'll see. Alright, so looks like my opponent is of a similar mind. And they lead off with their Pikachu as well. Now the first thing you do is you always fake out. And it's a speed tie. And fake out into quick attack is a two-shot on Pikachu. So winning that speed tie on turn 1 is actually pretty important. And it may not actually be a speed tie, I don't know how my opponent has invested. But fake out into quick attack is always the play against opposing Pikachu, because it is a two-shot with a light ball. Now, one thing I did not run on my Pikachu or on my Raichu is Brick Break. There are a lot of Brick Breakers out there because Pichu a lot of times likes to run screens, and so that is nice, but you'll see that I'm not running Brick Break on mine. As the Pichu does come out, and that's why I mentioned it. Okay, I'm going to Quick Attack. If they set up okay, yeah, they are Focus Sash. That's fine. They could have Flail. They go for Body Slam, which is not really that great of a play. Does a lot of damage, which is cool. But now they're down 2 Pokemon. And the Raichu can come out and do its thing. But even if they Dynamax, my Pichu can still waste that. And if they choose not to Dynamax, then I can get up screens and I can flail them, so it's a bit of a problem for them. Alright, in case they decide to be cheeky and set something up, I'm actually going to dig here. Quick attack isn't going to do very much, so this will be fine. Could have gotten off damage like I said, but it is what it is. I'm going to go into Pichu now. We're going to click Fake Out. They could Dynamax, and if they do, then that'll be a bit unfortunate. But I just want to get off the little amount of chip that I can. I don't think you Dynamax against the Pichu. Maybe you would. Yep, you didn't Dynamax. Okay, that's fine. Just in case the Focus Sash or something. I guess they're not Focus Sash because there's Item Claws. Okay, I'm going to set up Light Screen now. It could be a Brick Breaker. Now I could have gotten off flail damage, But at this point, my opponent is in range of the Z dig, or not the Z dig, the Max Quake. So I don't need to get any more damage off on this Raichu. It's already in range of Max Quake. I was actually Dynamax this turn, which I guess is nice, maybe? I don't know what that's supposed to do for them, why they chose this turn. If they go for an electric move, that won't work. So they can't get their Surge Surfer. And this is their only option. Now, of course, this does strengthen their Max Mindstorm the following turn, so that's cool. But I'm not really concerned about that because I have Light Screen up, and they didn't break the Light Screen. Right, if they had had Brick Break, which is an option on this particular Raichu, then they could have broken it, killed my Pichu, and then it would have been a speed tie. But as it stands, we should be fine. So I'm going to Dynamax and Max Quake. And I'll play, I believe, is Max Quake into Max Guard into Max Quake, probably. They may Max Guard here themselves. And this is a speed tie. Lots of speed ties in this particular metagame, since both Raichus have the same speed stat, and then Pikachu is always the same no matter what. Alright, and I don't know if that is a speed tie, but we win the speed tie, and they are Shuka. So that's a fun tech on my opponent's part. So going for my Max Strike would have been a better play, I suppose. I do get a Spit-Off raise though. So how much is this going to end up doing? Let's find out. After the +1 Spit-Off boost and the Light Screen, that does absolutely nothing. So I can just Max Quake again. Unless my opponent crits me here, we should be okay. It looks like they don't crit me, so that'll be the game. Kaboom goes the Raichu. We're going to be seeing a lot of this in this game, or in this video. This metagame gets very samey after a while, but it's actually sort of fun to play still, which is why I'm making a video on it. Alright, so that's a good way to start off this video. With the win, you always like to start off with the W. Continue battling. I'll be back when I find another battle. Alright, and we're back. Once again, we're leading off with Pikachu. Not much to say about that. Once you get a game plan you like, you sort of just stick to it. I'm not going to see anything on my opponent's side of the field that's going to make me reconsider my strategy. It's always the same Pokemon every single time. Fun glasses my opponent's got. They remind me of Team Flare a little bit. Alright, so the Raichu lead is a bit of an unfortunate play. Can click Fake Out, get off a bit of chip. No matter if they decide to Dynamax immediately or not, I can still get off that Fake Out chip. And then if they do decide to Dynamax right away, I can go into my Pichu and waste Dynamax turns that way. And then they'll be out of Dynamax, which should be good for me. Although the Raichu lead right away is the most problematic for this team. Alright, I'm actually going to click Quick Attack. I think that will be stronger than going for Dig, because I believe Pikachu just dies. Although, not if they do that. Not if they do that. I was not expecting Play Rough. Normally I am used to getting Psychicked by this guy, and that just kills Pikachu straight up. But they wasted the Raichu. I was not expecting Play Rough. I don't think this opponent tested their team before building it, and so they decided to run physical Alolan Raichu, which is not great. But hey, we take those. Okay, we got the Pikachu here. I'm going to click Quick Attack again. I should have clicked Protect, actually. What I should have done is click Protect, but looks like my opponent didn't even have the Fake Out or didn't click it. Going for Surf instead. That's fine. And at this point, I don't really think there's anything my opponent can do. I'm going to Dynamax anyway, just in case something weird happens. We're going to Max Quake. For instance, they could Dynamax the Pikachu right here. Okay, well, they just cancel. That's fine. Yeah, that's why you test your teams before you build them, because building takes so much time. A showdown takes you all of 5 seconds. So you want to make sure that your Surf and Play Rough strategies work out before you build them. Alright, here we go. Found another game. We're just gonna get right into it. No reason to waste your time showing a team preview. Nothing changes in team preview. Oh good, my opponent had the same idea that I did. Dressed up in the Pikachu outfit, because that's what we're here for. Once again, I'm going to click the Fake Out, just in case they don't Dynamax. I want to get the Fake Out chip off if I can. And then I'm going to, since Quick Attack is into 2KO, I will dig. If they decide to dig themselves, and they aren't Power Gem, or Power Herb, then normally I should go first. But it looks like they have no speed investment on this Raichu. So that's good to know. If they have a Protect, they should go for it here. And in this metagame, you should always run Protect. As they decide to click Dynamax instead. And I will take that 100%. Wonder if they're going to max guard here. If they max guard, that's a little bit unfortunate. But at the same time, if they max guard, then I can just dig the next turn and I'll waste their Dynamax. So they sort of have to attack here. And I'll get off a lot of damage here. Unless they're Shika. Oh. Well then. Goodbye, Raichu. No, Raichu. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, Slime doesn't get you much on Raichu. It doesn't have any utility outside of just raw damage. So that's not really getting you much. Just gonna quick attack here. No reason to let it do any reflect light screen shenanigans. And if they're not focus sash, it just kills straight up. I think Eviolite might live that if I recall. I was running Eviolite at the beginning, and then it didn't do anything. And Light Clay just dies, so there's no reason to run Light Clay, especially with all the Brick Break around. As we've seen before, Quick Attack is a 2 KO. I'm going to Protect here. Obviously, I've got this game in the bag at this point, but there's no reason to take Fake Out Chip. And I click Discharge. So my opponent knew to, I'm just going to click Dig again, because it's cool. My opponent knew to dress up for the occasion, but they didn't know which moves to run. So, my Pikachu will solo their team, that's okay. And that'll be a perfect win for me boy. That's cool, that's cool. I'll catch you guys with the next one. And we're back with another opponent. Crazy backgrounds they got in this game. A little bit too busy for my liking, but sort of cool still. Another opponent that knew to dress up. And they lead off with Pikachu, which I think is a good play. Now it comes down to a speed tie as to who will win the Fake Out. You could always Protect here to avoid the Fake Out speed tie, but then it just becomes a Quick Attack speed tie, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. And I am max speed. Alright. That's a bit bulkier than I was expecting. I'm actually going to click Dig. So they go for quick attack, which is fine. Now it's a critical hit, which is interesting because that means that this must be like a max defense Pikachu or something. To do that little damage with my fake out, when normally it's a 2-hit KO, and for the crit to barely be a 2-hit KO on me is pretty insane to me. Now it could be Eviolite as well. If it was Eviolite and not Light Ball, then that would explain the lack of damage and the amount of damage it took being so low. And they stack their Pichu here, which I think is fine. Could be Focus Sash with Fake Out. Yep, it is. Or at least I think it has Fake Out. So I'm actually going to click Protect here. And the Protect should save us from this thing's Fake Out. Of course, that does allow them to hit a Light Screen or Reflect if they have it. This is another Play Rougher. Play Rough from Pichu would do absolutely no kind of damage. So it's not even really worth having a move slot for. I mean, I understand the idea of these are all electric types, they all have Lightning Rod, there's no reason to run an electric move. But Play Rough on a Pichu, the only way Pichu is doing any kind of damage is with Flail. Otherwise it has what, base 20 attack or something. It is so pathetically weak. Alright, we got the Alola Chew, they got a shiny, that's cool. I'm just going to click Quick Attack. So they can just click Psychic here and knock me out. They should outspeed me unless they forgot to EV their Pokemon or something. I don't know. But yeah. Just get off as much damage as I can. And now the sad thing about this play for my opponent is because I have Protect, their Dig can't touch me. So that's why in this metagame, you always run Protect, because it saves you against the Fake Outs and it saves you against the Digs. At least the non-Dynamaxed versions. So once again, we're just going to click Fake Out. And at this point, I think my Raichu could just win on its own. Now they do Dynamax, which is a good play on my opponent's part, because it'll take less damage this turn. And they can just click Ground EMZ or Psyche EMZ. Wait, why am I keep calling them Z-moves? They can click Max Quake, or they can click Max Mindstorm. I'm going to do half the damage I did last turn. Still does a lot of damage though, not going to lie. At this point though, the game is basically over, because my Raichu will just win. So we're going to go into Pichu now, because we don't want to risk the speed tie. So we're going to go into Pichu. We've got the Flail. No point clicking Fake Out because I won't flinch, right? But they'll attack me this turn, and this Flail will do a passable amount of damage considering it's a Pichu. And their Max Quakes aren't going to do a dang thing because I'm not attacking them on the special side, I'm attacking them on the physical side. I have seen some Iron Tail for the max, for the defense boosts, the Max Steel Spike. But I don't really know how I like that particularly. I'm actually surprised that Flail took that Raichu out, not gonna lie. That is pretty crazy to me. So that Pichu just took out a Dynamax Raichu. And here comes Pikachu out. I don't have a quick attack on this set, so I'm just gonna click Flail. They should kill me. That's fine. And here at this point I am down to my Raichu, so we will go into it. And I think I can get away with just Fake Out into Quick Attack. There's no point Dynamaxing if you don't have to. This just takes up precious game time. And no need to waste my time, your time, and my opponent's time. You know, unless my opponent's wasting my own time, like in yesterday's video. But yeah, Fake Out into Quick Attack takes out the Pikachu. No problem. Looking at the item on the Raichu, I don't know if Life Orb is strictly necessary. It is necessary to OHKO with Dig or Max Quake on opposing Raichu. But aside from that, I don't actually know if Life Orb is the best item on Raichu. But just up to whatever you want to run. It's not that big of a tournament, so it's all for fun. Alright. Unfortunately, we can't find anybody who has 1,500 points, so that's a bit sad. I'd like to play against some good players if I can, but they may have already gone through and played as much as they wanted to by this point that I'm recording this. Oh, nice. They got all the stars and all the little Pokedex things off to the side. Maxed out card. I like to see it. Another little Raichu lead. Bit unfortunate. I prefer to see the Pikachu or the Pichu leads. But the Raichu lead is fine too. The reason you don't want to usually lead Raichu, in my opinion, is if your opponent decides to lead off with the Pichu, then you just waste your Dynamax. On the other hand, though, because my opponent decided to lead off with the Raichu and Dynamax right away, and I led Pikachu, then they actually get the upper hand here, because I'll fake out here, and that will chip them. Holy cow, that did a lot. But that's all it's going to do, it's going to chip them. And so I can go into my Pichu now and waste the Dynamax turns. Or I can go to Raichu and risk the Speed Tide. And I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and risk the Speed Tide. The reason you don't want to save Pichu until the end is because it's really passive. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to go to Pichu. And I'm going to click Flail. Because Pichu's so passive, right? You don't want to save it to the end. It can't win on its own. So if you lead Raichu, if you're a person who likes to lead Raichu and your opponent leads Pikachu, you have to Dynamax on turn 1. It's the only way to win the game at that point. You don't want to let your Raichu go down to Pikachu like we saw in previous games, right? Holy guacamole. I just killed the Raichu. Is my opponent running a haste nature? I was not expecting that. Okay. Or maybe they didn't have max IVs? I'm not sure. That might go some way to explaining my opponent's rating. I'm going to click Flail here, as I actually win the speed tie, if that is one. And that kills the Pichu. So at this point, the game is basically over, because my Raichu can clean up in the back. Just click Flail again. No reason to click anything else. There's no way I'd... What? Okay. Well, it looks like my opponent just brought random Pokemon to this battle. I'm really, sort of disappointed. I want to get real games. Oh well. It's like the only time I ever actually want to, normally when they give out shiny legendaries, if you play in the tournaments, I usually bring a bunch of Explosion and Healing Wish Pokemon just so I can get my 3 games and call it good. This is the one time I actually think a tournament sounds compelling, and I show up and people bring Pokemon without any EVs and IVs or something. So a bit of a shame. Alright. One thing I was thinking about when I was loading up this game, when you're building teams like this, you want to make sure you always have Pokemon of different genders, because Pikachu can learn Attract, and there's always that one guy who decides to load up the Attract, Confuse Ray, or whatever nonsense on the ladder, and you don't want to get messed up by that guy. Right, so... Okay, we fake out. That pops the balloon. And it's for this kind of reasons that you want to Dynamax against the Pikachu, because even though I still would have popped their balloon with fake out if they had done so, the fact is that I don't really need my Pikachu to win. And unless, well, this isn't powered because we saw that they had the air balloon, so they're getting no kind of momentum at all against me. And yeah, as you can see, this is not working out for my opponent. Also, if I'd gone for dig of my own and they outsped me naturally, then I would have gone second and I would have gotten my dig off and they would have died to it as well. Assuming they even have EVs, I don't even know. Okay, now they're going to Pikachu. We're just going to quick attack twice. I don't want to play dig games with my opponent. And quick attack twice, as we've seen, does to a KO. Although, since they elected to Dynamax, maybe it would have been a good idea to click dig. Because then if they lost the speed tie, it would have been a nice outcome. Oh, man. I have actually never heard that Gigantamax voice come out of Pikachu. That's sort of funny, not gonna lie. Alright. Well, my Pikachu goes down, that's okay. Yo, that is so cute. I love that so much. Okay. Since Pikachu and Raichu is not a speed tie, I can just go safely now into my Raichu, and I'll just Dynamax back and click the Max Quake. I'm pretty sure that even if they happen to be Sugar Berry, that they should die. Don't quote me on that though. I haven't had to fight a Dynamax Sugar Berry Pikachu yet, so you'll excuse me if I don't know that calc off the top of my head. Okay, yep, we outspeed. We don't see a Sugar Berry, which is good. And the down goes the Gigantamax Pikachu. Pikachu, no! Oh, it's so sad. But also hilarious. And against the Pichu, I'm actually going to click Max Strike. You know, why put Giga Impact on your Raichu if you're not going to click it at least once, you know? Max Strike tears open the ground. And I figured they'd be Focus Sash anyway, so it didn't really matter what I clicked there. Speed Falling just ensures that even my own Pichu can outspeed them. Okay, they got the reversal. That's cool, that's cool. It's basically the same as the... What am I trying to say? As the flail. That's cool. It looks like my prayers have been answered, and the next opponent actually has points, so I think they know what they're doing. So that'll be good. Hopefully we can get a win against this guy. They lead off with their own Pikachu, so we're forcing the fake out speed tie. Which is just how I like it. Give me that speed tie. As they decide to click protect. Which, I mean, that's okay. If you don't have fake out, for whatever reason, running protect is the only way to avoid that to a KO, guaranteed. So I understand that play. Okay, I win a potential speed tie. That was a critical hit. So I think my opponent is Eviolite. Yo, and they get a crit too. Well then. Okay, I'm gonna go into Raichu. They do have protect, but they may not expect me to have fake out. I'm not sure. So it's always worth going for fake out, right? No matter what, it's free damage. So yeah, they don't expect me to have fake out on this set. And this is where the life orb actually comes in and hurts me a bit, because I shouldn't be taking this chip damage, no reason to be doing it. Because I'm putting myself in range of my opponent's Raichu, which is unfortunate. That's a pretty nasty brick break crit. I'm pretty sure that mattered. Alright. One turn. Two turn. I think the correct play is to go Pichu here. I could be wrong on that though. But yeah, I have to get it down to max. So on this turn, they'll take me down to my focus sash. I can fake them out for a little bit of chip and get a second turn with Dynamax off. And then unfortunately, one of the other problems with my Raichu set is I don't have max guard. So I will be risking that last turn speed tie. So that's a bit unfortunate. If I had max guard on my Raichu, we'd be in a lot better position for this particular scenario. Alright, we're going to click fake out here, because it'll get off some chip. By some chip, I mean it'll do 2%. Yep. Barely anything. They click max knuckle. That literally does not matter. Now max knuckle comes from the brick break, which is what usually these Raichu tend to run. Which is why they may have not expected me to have fake out on my Raichu. So we are still coming down to this speed tie here at the end. But that's all this metagame is, right? It's just speed ties, and whoever wins them wins the game. So we're gonna click the max quake here. If I had max guard, I would go for it. But it's just gonna come down to the speed tie. Okay, I win it. Oh, they had a sugar berry this whole time. Oh well. So, I'll lose this game. I guess for them it was an assured victory. I think sugar berry is the superior item over life orb. But I just decided to use life orb instead. Because I'm fairly sure that Giga Impact does not kill. Giga Impact is good for when you have to 2-KO something. But not great so much when you need to get the Oko. So, we lose to them, but that's fine. That's how this game goes, especially this particular tournament. It all comes down to speed ties and who runs the right techs for each other. Alright, I don't want another loss. Let's get another game. Oh, wow. You can't even see my opponent. They're so dazzling. You know, this is the fun part about playing on Wi-Fi, right? You get to dress up in really cool avatars. I love my opponent's outfit. And you get to mess around and see the actual animations. Make trainer cards, things like that. You don't get to do that on Showdown. The only time you even get to have a cool avatar on Showdown is if you're one of the cool highfalutin Smogon types that gets the custom avatars, right? But for the rest of us peasants who don't have custom avatars, we just have to stick with what's normal. And then the only thing you can do at that point is just find the hidden avatars in the back, and that's about as far as that goes. Alright, I'm going to click Protect here. Avoid a fake out if my opponent decides to go for it. If they go for Dig, that'll be unfortunate. Oh, Substitute. That's also unfortunate. But on the other hand, my opponent shows Leftovers, which is unfortunate for my opponent because that is a weak Pikachu. Not going to get you anything. Quick attack the Pikachu. Don't know what they're going to go for. Nasty plot. Nasty plot serve? I actually don't even know how much that's gonna do. But what I can tell you is that it would do a lot more if you had a light ball. So, yeah, I'm not expecting this to kill. Although it could do a decent chunk, since quick attack's to a KO. Draining Kiss, okay. That's fun. Well, yeah, you know what? I will concede that this is sort of an annoying set. Now, I could dig here, but that allows my opponent to put up a substitute if they feel like it. And I don't want to allow them that. So I'm just going to let them take out my own Pikachu. And then we'll go into Raichu. And we will fake them out again. Unfortunately, this means I'm leaving my Pichu for the end. So, gotta watch out for that. Okay, gonna fake out here. Okay, we get the fake out chip. And you know what I'm gonna do this turn actually? And I could have just done this last turn probably. But I couldn't remember if my opponent had Protect. So that's why I went for fake out, just in case they did Protect there. I'm actually gonna Max Quake. What Max Quake will do is it'll allow me to avoid as much damage from Max Psychic, which I think is what my opponent has in the back. I'm 50% sure that they have a Alolan Raichu in the back. And I'll take less damage if I can get a Max Quake off early. Is my thinking, at least. Probably should have done this last turn, but if they had Protect, it would have been a bit unfortunate. Because I don't know if it would have killed. Probably would have, but maybe not. There seemed to be a bulkier variety of Pikachu with the Nasty Plot and the leftovers and whatever. So I am +1 Spadef now. That could help. Okay, yeah, they are... Okay. And this is why we got Max Strike. So pop their balloon, lower their speed, so the next turn it will not be a speed tie. And then we can kill them from there. So I'm actually really glad that I got off that Max Quake the previous turn, because that'll give me the +1 Spadef boost. Because I couldn't go for it this turn, right? That would have been a major problem. Okay. They may decide to go for Max Guard here. As they do. Which is fair enough. But I really don't think it's going to work out for them. So I still have that Max Strike, right? So Max Strike is all I need to do. At this point, I can lower their speed. And if their speed is lowered, then they can't really do anything. Right, there's way too much damage. Now it's no longer a speed tie. The balloon is popped. And now I can just win with Dig. And my opponent didn't even go for an attack that turn. They decided to try to get the double Protect. Which, I mean, wasn't the worst play if they'd gotten it. But they didn't get it. And so now I can just Dig. And so they... Yeah, they can't do anything at this point. If they had gone for an attack here, which is the only play, then I would... dodge it because I outspeed them in the following turn. If they had Protect, that's fine. I can still kill them quick attack in the following turn. So that was basically over at that point. Anyway, that's this metagame. The Pikachu metagame, I forget what the exact term is. I'll probably put it in the description. It's a bit late to play on Wi-Fi if this is the first time hearing about it, but I believe you should still be able to play it on Showdown. And really, that's the way to do it, just because you can turn around and fix your team up in case things don't work out the way you think they are. And the ladder there is a little more active, I should think, in terms of being able to find good players. Although maybe not at this point, I don't know. But yeah, I thought this game was pretty fun. The Pikachu line is pretty solid overall, even if it is a bit overplayed at this point. And it's sort of fun to have a limited metagame where you only have a few Pokemon, and it's just a rock, paper, scissors at that point. Because you really get to know the ins and outs of the Pokemon and their movesets and what they're capable of. It's good in this particular metagame because they also don't allow a bunch of other moves that Pikachu normally can get, like Extreme Speed. Imagine if you had Extreme Speed. I feel like this metagame would be a lot less fun because it would just be Pikachu's blowing each other back with Extreme Speed and Raichus blowing each other back with Extreme Speed. And there would be a lot more potent options that would invalidate a lot of the stuff we're seeing right now. But because of the limited moveset availability and limited Pokemon availability, you actually have a few different counter plays available to you. So pretty fun metagame overall. I had a lot of fun in today's video. Hope you guys did too. And I'll catch you guys next time.